guys? So this is kind of spontaneous, if I'm being honest. Just got back home from the gym. It's Sunday, so there's almost no one there on Sundays. But on Sundays, I figured I might as well just get some recording done. So, I'll still work out, obviously, but I'll try to get some recording done as almost no one there. And so I did that, and I'll probably, depending what I'm doing, I'll probably put some clips of me doing so before this scene. But yeah, we just got back home. We're gonna make some food, and I was thinking on the way back home. Thinking on the way back home, and I kind of woken up. You know, usually every time I do the same routine, the same thing, I kind of get numb to it. Right, I kind of get numb, and it becomes, kind of just boring routine. It becomes, I'm stuck to plate. It becomes repetitive, essentially. Like if you work a job, you go in there every single day, you're kind of numb to it. You just do your job. Your muscle memory kind of takes over, and you're just doing this stuff that you need to do. You don't have to think about it much, right? Same thing with the gym. You go in there, you just do your sets, and sometimes, some days I just go through the motion, which is not good, but, I actually woken up this time at the gym and on the car ride home. Usually, I work hard. I work out hard, but I would just, at least in the past, I used to just go through the motion, just not really thinking about the sets, which I do now because as I'm trying to learn more about, muscle hypertrophy and all this stuff from, the greats of, Mike Menser and just people online, just learning about those things, just starting to learn about those and seeing how it can improve my physique. I woken up, I looked around in the gym, and same thing with my job, but I'll get to that in a bit. I looked around in the gym, and I was like, Sunday morning, just you and a couple people here. There's 5 other people around the gym, which is empty, really empty. It's just you and a couple people here. You don't have to be here, but you're here. You showed up anyways, and because you want this pretty badly, and you didn't make an excuse just because it's Sunday. You didn't make an excuse to just not show up. And I thought about that, right? Let me put you down here. I thought about that, and it kind of satisfied me, in a sense, it kind of satisfied me in a way, you're showing up and no one else is in, essentially. And showing up doesn't mean you have to show up at the gym. Showing up means that you resist the vices. Showing up means you don't break your routine, break your morals, break your actions that lead to your goals. And I was just sitting there on the leg extensions, just kind of pondering in a sense, you're just staring off into the distance, and you're just kind of just thinking of almost nothing. But then I actually had these thoughts come to mind. Hold on, let me get the pan. I need to get the pan. Oh, it's over there. But you actually have these thoughts that come to mind, and you start really deep thinking, deep thinking. And I was like, I'm here, no one else isn't, barely any people are. People are just sleeping in. Not saying that you're lazy just because you take Sundays off. I'm just saying that, if you're sticking to a routine, for me it's at least my split right now is upper lower, and so I do upper lower rest, upper lower rest, and so sometimes it just falls on Sundays. It's not Monday is strictly this, Tuesday is strictly that, Thursday, Wednesday is strictly this. That used to be my push-pull legs, just during the weekdays. But I figured I'm going to choose a split, and no matter what day it falls on, I'm going to take one rest day, 2 days workout, one rest day, 2 days workout, which might be a little too much if I'm being honest. It might be a little too much because that's 5 days in a week. So anyways, I was just thinking there, I'm there, no one else is there, and I'm actually, thinking these thoughts through. You're showing up. And I also work at a fast food restaurant, and I used to just go through the motions at the fast food restaurant, but recently I actually just like woken up, you know. Like I would just like put the bag, put the fries in the bag. I would just give it to the customers. I would just talk to the customers, just being all numb. I wouldn't be thinking, but then like recently I woken up. Like, look at all these people feeding themselves horrible food. And sure, I'm part of the problem because I'm working there, but that's besides the point. Look at these people feeding themselves really bad foods, and you can see the bellies of people like literally sticking out as I look at the drive-through, like at the car, like at the driver. Literally, their bellies sticking. I'm like, bro, this is the last place you should be at. But here's the harsh part. It sounds really mean. It sounds mean, but it kind of gave me this feeling of like, look at how many people. Look at your competition. Not saying I'm comparing myself to these people, but I'm just saying like in general, look at who you're competing with nowadays. People coming almost, I memorized customers at this point because they come in almost every single day. And it's like, look who you're competing with. I'm not comparing myself with them. I'm competing with everyone. It's a worldwide global competition to the top. Worldwide. And I was just thinking like, do you really think it's hard to stand out nowadays? Look at everyone coming through the drive-thru. Look at everyone coming in. They're all, you could just tell just by you look at their eyes, you just know that they don't give like they're just drifting. They're just drifting through life. They're just eating without thinking, you know? And sure, that was me too. I used to eat a lot of junk food. I used to just not think about it at all. I used to just work and just not like, just be numb and go through the motion. But now I'm actually like waking up. I'm being aware, trying to wake up myself. Like, hey, this is your competition, essentially. Not saying you compare yourself with the losers, with people who have low standards, but just like just become aware. Like, wake up real quick. Look at who you're competing with. And this is just one restaurant. Imagine globally. Imagine the country of people that go through all the fast foods. Imagine that. So if I just don't go to fast food restaurant, just for example, if I don't just eat fast food for one day, I'm already standing out so far ahead. And now if you just compound that with weeks, with months, this is an example. If you just like don't feed yourself with bad foods, you've already stood out in a sense. And so that should just motivate you even more, just because you visually now see that you're standing out. Now that you see like in perspective of, look at all these people. Like you might not even work at a fast food restaurant, but just in my case, like if you just wake up and visually like think about it, look at who you're competing with. All you have to do is just not eat fast food for one day and you already stand out. Right? I'm not saying that's all it's going to take. It's going to take much more than that. It's going to take much more, especially if you want to get a physique at a peak level. It's going to take a lot more than that. But just wake up real quick. If you go to the gym and you don't see many people there, you should be proud of yourself. You should be proud of yourself. If you go out in public and you see a lot of people like eating all this junk food and you're not, and you're like actually sticking to your routine and your diet, you should be proud of yourself. Become proud of yourself. That should give you like this amp of like yes, this is good. This is good. Like, not saying you're preying down on the downfall of others, but all you can do is just worry about yourself. And so if you just wake up and just realize how low the standards are, and just showing up one day at a time when no one else does, that you easily compound. And people who are not showing up every single day, whether that's to the gym or not showing up in their diet, not showing up and doing their routine, you're getting ahead. You're getting so far ahead if you just realize. There was a thought that was coming to my mind. I forgot what it was though. I just like kind of blanked out. But it'll probably come to me after I finish recording. But you get what I mean though? Like, you gotta wake up and just realize, look at who you're competing with, and just that should motivate you even more to just like keep going. Right? Just keep going and don't stop, and realize that the standards are so low nowadays. Not saying you comply with those standards, but each day that you just show up when no one else does is monumental progress. And you compound that. Oh yeah, I got my thought. You compound your progress every time you show up. And people regress. They decrease their progress every single time they don't, and every single time they eat junk food, every single time they skip the gym, every single time they don't stick to their routine, they stick to their word, stick to their goals. They compound it, but in a negative way. It's like a negative downslope, exponentially. But every time you show up is a increasing exponential slope. Your progress gets much higher. And each day that you're consistent is like a reinforcer that your mind is telling yourself, I am this person, I am this identity, because I do this every single day. You become, where are my scissors? You become one with what you think about and one with what you do. You're none other than your own habits. And so if your habits are not aligned, what do you think is going to happen? You're just going to become a person who's probably lazy, probably doesn't have ambition, and just drifting through life. Everyone's a drifter nowadays. And a part of the reason why that is because people just don't know. They don't know that evil is taking over them every single day. I can't even close these scissors. They're not aware of what's taking over them every single day. You're fighting evil every single day. Evil is the urges into lust. Evil is the urges into eating fast food. Evil is the urges to snooze. That's evil. That's not your own thoughts. You have all this motivation at 3 a.m., but then once it comes to actually showing up, evil is like slaps you in the face. That's evil. Trying to just stop you from and doubt yourself and discourage you from going to your goals. And you have to fight that every single day. Every single day. So just realize this is a competition, a global competition, and people are drifting by the minute every single day. To only imagine worldwide. Because most likely you go to let's say a fast food restaurant one day, can't imagine how many days you go like consistently. If that makes sense. But yeah, I just want to say that those are just some thoughts I had. Just like, if you literally just wake up and realize how, and just reinforce your thoughts, become proud of yourself but not complacent. Become proud and be awake. Like, each day you show up, you increase your progress exponentially. It's not like, oh, one day, okay, increase a little bit, 2 days, okay, increase a little bit. No, you reinforce and compound that progress over time, and your mind tells you that you're this person. And it just compounds, literally, just compounds. So that's just some thoughts I had. Not to rant or anything, but just literally, I just came back from the gym and I just thought of it right now. And it might not be the most cinematic type of vlog, or not vlog, but like video. I just wanted to share my thoughts. Man, what the fuck? Just wanted to share my thoughts out there. Okay, this doesn't want it. Anyways, I'm gonna make some ground beef right now. We have some ground beef, and we have a plate right there. But I want to make some ground beef. I'm not sure what I'm gonna eat for carbs to replenish my glycogen storages. Not to sound all sciencey, I'm not sciencey, but it sounded nerdy. I'm gonna eat probably like an apple or banana, and let's see if there's any like. We got some strawberry. We got some yogurt. I'll see what I can do. I'll probably have a banana, an apple, and yeah, we'll see. Maybe cut up some potatoes, but kind of not feeling it right now, if I'm being honest. And I have a call to take at 8:30, so I don't know if I have time. I'm probably gonna cut up some potato. Oh, maybe a bagel or bread. Maybe some bread. But anyways, I'm gonna finish this. Hope that helped a little bit, just like to become aware. And I'll see you in the next video.